Yo, what is going on, guys? It is your boy here, Player X, with the Semi Limited Podcast, guys. As y'all know, I always love starting off by saying thank you guys for listening and returning back for yet another installment of the best podcast this side of the TCG. On today's session, we'll be going over YCS Anaheim that happened over the weekend over in California, as well as some of the regional results from Rochester, New York's event that happened in Rochester or Millennium Games, sorry, in Rochester over the weekend on Saturday, and then as well as the well-awaited Banlist that Konami tried to sneak by us, but decided to put on the grand scheme of things beforehand as well. But before we dig into all that, as usual, guys, let's get into these sponsored plugins real quick. You guys can go down to that Linktree link in the description box below to follow it. All of our social sites will be continuing to do more giveaways when we hit 50 followers on TikTok, 100 followers on Twitter or X or whatever the new kids are calling it now. 200 followers on IG, and then 200 members on Discord, and then 500 subs on YouTube. So we got a lot going on, guys. As usual, we're just trying to give away more stuff for you guys, for more exposure, more traffic, and all that stuff. So be sure to help out by following all those sites as well as sharing it with your friends. And then a big shout out to Unplugged Gaming in Banlist, New York, for sponsoring the podcast and donating all the stuff to the podcast for us to give back to you guys as well. So you be sure to join their Discord server in the description box below to be a part of all of their TCG communities as well. And if you guys do decide to show up in store, be sure to tell them that the boys over at the Semi Limited Podcast sent you, and they'll definitely be sure to hook you up, as well as being sure to catch Brad, aka Mr. Perfect, live streaming on Twitch every Saturday night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. His Twitch will be in the Linktree link down below as well, right above ours. You can catch him doing deck theorying and crafting, maybe playtesting online, on Dueling Book or EDO or DB or Master Duel, who knows, whatever it is that he's on. But whatever you guys want to see him do, he usually is pretty adamant on getting it done. So be sure to catch him as be sure to catch him again every Saturday at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch, which the link will be down below. And last but not least, be sure to remember that next week, Monday, December 16th, we'll be doing our much sought after end of year live recording for the last episode of the year for the podcast. That means you, the listener, who is listening to this right now, can join us live as we record our last episode with guests from throughout the year returning back to partake in the event. You can join via our Discord, and then you can get to that by using that Linktree link again in the description box, and you'll be able to join our live recording room and be able to ask questions, hear some stories, and even just vibe with your friends and even some influencers that you might like to close out the 2024 year. It's a big event. We had a very big smash last year. If you guys want to go check it out, you're more than welcome to go back in the prior videos and go find it. But we had like everyone out who was in the podcast for 2023, and we're going to be having basically the same thing. We're going to be reaching out to everybody, seeing if we have confirmed back. We got Vengeful coming back, we got Logan JYA coming back, we got Team Sakuraso coming back. So we got a whole bunch of big influencers on the way back. So be sure not to miss that. You don't want to miss that one because it's a big fun event, and I love having it and giving it to you guys, so that way we can have something a little bit more bonding for the community. But now that all that's out of the way, let's get into today's episode, because I don't want it to be too long. It's just going to be a recap of a whole bunch of things that happened over the weekend, so it shouldn't be a very long episode for you guys. We're going to be kicking it off with YCS Anaheim that was over in California for us over in the States. The event showcased the shift into, I guess, the newer meta that we're about to be having. I would say the new Storm, as it was apparent that the Fiendsmith engine was the engine to beat over this weekend. I just don't get it. Even with Bologna having the Kashtira Fiendsmith thing going on. But it's being paired with engines like Kashtira, the Adventure Package, and now we're even starting to see the new Ryzes strat with Fiendsmith in it. So, I don't know, it was kind of crazy just seeing how many Fiendsmith engines you can kind of cram into all these decks. But, we'll see how it progresses throughout the rest of the format. But for this event in particular, there were 1,429 duelists in attendance, which means that there were 11 grueling rounds of Swiss before the inevitable cut to our top 32 duelists. The top cut event was rather unique in my opinion. On day two after Swiss, our top 32 looked as followed. We had 14 Ryzes decks. 10 of them were pure and 4 of them were Fiendsmith Ryzel. Then we had 7 Malice decks. 6 of those were pure and 1 of them was a Bestial Malice deck. We had 4 pure Fiendsmith. I guess it looks like there's 4 Fiendsmith. We have 2 Fiendsmith Ubel. Then we have 2 Tempai, 1 Azamina Snake Eye, 1 Memento, and 1 Voiceless Voice. So that's crazy. Out of the top 32, that over 2/3 was Malice and Ryzeo. So cards or decks coming from crossover breakers. That's insane how much influence that it had on not only the saturation level of the deck, but also just like the deck choices. Like I didn't think that people were gonna choose Ryziel or Malice, even if with the Fiendsmith package or any other engines boosting them, over an already established Azamina Snake Eye Fire King, which is proven to withstand the test of time, I guess. So I just didn't expect there to be that many Ryziels on top cut lists because I didn't expect there to be that much of a turnover, honestly. But the event was eventually taken down by none other than Trip Gaming, or Steven Trifanowski, the pen god, as some people know him, who piloted said Ryziel Fiendsmith deck all the way to the top and solidifying himself as a champion for 2024, the last champion for 2024 as well. And he also saved himself from social suicide because for those who don't know, Drift made a post earlier this year on Zodiac, and I'll eventually go post it or I'll find it and take a picture and put it on Instagram or something like that. That if he didn't win a YCS in 2024, then he was gonna have to delete all of his social medias, his channels, and well, it was stirring around the community for the last couple days before Anaheim happened, and then it was kind of word that Triff was going, so someone had dug out that post and said, "Yeah, didn't Triff say he was gonna like basically off all of his social sites if he didn't win a YCS?" So now that that kind of resurfaced, once we saw Steve Triff's name in Top Cut, I'm like, "Oh snap, he's gonna do it. This man better go all the way, otherwise this will be the last that we ever hear of Triff." But he did do it. It took him to the last one of the year to do so, but he managed to get it done. So, congrats to Tripp for not only becoming a YCS champion, but also for saving his own skin. Because sometimes you write a check that your ass just can't cash. But that YCS wasn't the only competitive event happening on Saturday last week either. Fellow New Yorkers were able to travel out to Millennium Games out in Rochester, New York to attend their regional event as well. Being one of the first major events for our side of the state for the format, Q's players really dug in on doing well for themselves this time around. With a lot of them going out there with decks that they not only felt comfortable with, but just that they thought that were going to be good meta calls. And it turned out to be, I guess, beneficial for a handful of them, to say the least. With 129 players in the room, they all had to go through 8 rounds of Swiss before the standing sheet would be posted. And although I couldn't have been in attendance in this event, I really wanted to go. It was my stepkid's birthday party. But I was able to catch most of it on the store's Twitch stream as they streamed the entire event in-house. Shout outs to Chan the Man for doing all the commentary on it. I love him. Chandler out there in Rochester, New York. Great guy. Even better duelist. They streamed the entire event out there. He was commentating over it. They tried to do not only the feature matches, but they were doing like a backup feature match, and then doing like the people cam where you kind of go around the room seeing everything, almost like you were if you were watching a YCS stream. It was really kind of cool. And as much as you assume, Q's kind of did seem rather lovely when it came down to that top cut time. Although the winner of the event was not from Cuse, he was not a Cuse native. We did have 4 invites given to Syracusians for the event in total, 3 of which have never gotten their invites before at all. So it kind of felt super accomplishing for them to finally reach their goal, and I was very, very proud of all of them. So a big congratulations to Drake Garcia for making 11th place. He tried a bunch of the regionals. It fell a little bit short, bubbling out at a couple of the remote ones. So congrats to him for finally making cut in, or bubbling in, I should say. And then our very own Brad Stevens for making 10th place. He played Flu. And Drake played Ubel, so good for him. So we had a U-Bell player. Brad was on Fluke getting 10th place. A bigger even shout out to Austin Despa, who earned 7th place, taking home the regional mat as well. And she piloted Brandon all the way to her victory. And then all love to my boy Devon Smith, of course, for 4th place and getting the whole combo mat deck box thing, uh, piloting Snake Eye as a Fire King all the way to the top. So good for him. I think he was X1-1 on the day, tying his very last round, and then only losing once on the stream, as far as I saw, because his dumbass wouldn't Ash a thrust because he's stupid. uh, but alas, I know you guys must be wondering, hey X, where are the deck profiles then? If they did so well, you should have posted them up. We should be seeing everything right now. Well, they're not coming out because Konami decided that they also wanted to drop a surprise ban list on us at the end of that YCS stream. And right before we were supposedly, I was supposed to go and edit all these fucking deck profiles. They go ahead and announce that they're gonna do a ban list, and I was like praying that they just would not hit any of the cards on these deck lists that just came out, like just any of them. I really just wanted to do all the profiles, and unfortunately, yeah, it was not like that. They hit the Azamina deck. They hit the branded deck. They also hit Tempai, which was another good deck that we all kind of have our sights gets put on. We had high hopes for the deck for sure. But as you guys didn't know, maybe you weren't aware. This is why we couldn't drop them, is because Konami was out here dropping some bombs on the format, giving us a shake up, trying to change some things up before these players get a little staled out. But these changes came on the latter end of the YCS Anaheim stream, and the new list is as followed. So now on the unlimited list, meaning that you can have as many copies as you want, we have all the Dragon Lures. They all came back. I thought that was like, it was supposed to happen. Could have been had that. We have Dino Wrestler Pinkertops to 3. We have Luna Light Tiger to 3. We got Rescue Ace Airlifter going back to 3. Don't know why it was touched to begin with, but okay, we'll give him that. And then extra deck wise, we have the Thunder Dragon Colossus going to 3. Ib the World Chalice Justice R. And then opening of the Spirit Gates as well going to 3. For the semi-limited shout out list, we have Cyberjar going from 1 to 2. Danger Jackalope going from 1 to 2, Tsuchinoko going from 1 to 2, Eva going from 1 to 2, and then for Formal Pal, Monkey Board going from 1 to 2. So those are all the semi-limits. Then we have cards going either down to 1 or up from 1. So we have Phantom of U-Bell for other U-Bell players, so that's finally at 1. And then unfortunately, the dreaded, I guess everyone else wants it, hits, was Tempai Dragon Chandra the 1, and then Sangan Kaiman also going to 1. So they have 1 Chandra in the OCG, but they also have all 3 Kaiman. So they must really hate us over here for taking away 2 more Kaiman on top of the 2 more Chandra. But, who knows? It is what it is. And they also gave us Zodiac Barrage going from ban to 1. So they didn't give us any other Zodiac cards or anything like that. So we'll see how that works. Maybe it's like a tech cards for Ryzes or something. But, we'll see how it pops. And then last but not least, the most important cards that everyone cares about is the banned list. So it's forbidden. You can't use it. They're fucking gone. Get them the fuck out of here. We only have 3 cards on this section, and the first one is Gimmick Puppet Nightmare. The second one is Jaugen the Spiritualist, which are all branded targets for their Albion. So it's kind of good that they got rid of all those. Now they can just Ida and fucking Raw's Disciple us to death, I guess. And then the last card on the banned forbidden list is Original Simple Spoil Snake Eyes. So it was kind of crazy that they eventually decided to hit the Snake Eyes list. I don't understand why so late. These seemed a little bit out of touch, especially a lot of those unlimited ones, like the ones going to 3. Seemed like they could have been at 3, not only last list, but like 4 or 5 lists before that. They all just seem like a little out of touch. I don't see. I do remember the argument I used to saying that if we banned OSS, we can kind of leave the rest of the deck untouched as far as Snake Eyes goes. But like, I don't know, maybe the ceiling is a little too tall with the new Azmina lines going in there as well. I know they kind of take a hindrance, but still having access to an Omni Negate or digging for more engine is just, I don't know. I think that's a little too much to me personally. But hey, what do I know? But that is the ban list for you guys. I mean, how do you guys feel about this list? You guys satisfied by it? Does it leave you yearning for more to happen in the format? How about you guys tell us your thoughts about it on the list, or even about how they went about releasing it? Because remember, they went about releasing it in the middle of top 16. They just announced, yeah, by the way, at the end of the stream, we're gonna be doing the ban list. Like they didn't say anything about a post beforehand. So I mean, I don't know about you guys. I mean, I do appreciate the communication, but they could have done a better night at it. You know what I'm saying? There's definitely different things that they could do. So, but let us know how you guys felt. I know everyone's kind of running around with their bandless reactions, people taking videos and all that stuff. But I just wanted to make sure that we all got a big grasp on what was going on, and we presented the facts today, not just feelings. And the facts is Konami's fucking hates Tenpai Dragon players, and I'm gonna kill myself. So. Those are the facts, people. But we are slowly running out of life points, guys. Like I said, I didn't want this to be a very big episode. I just wanted to kind of touch over like some of the things that happened over the weekend, and also to bring your attention to the live recording episode, which once again we're going to be doing December 16th on a Monday. You guys can jump in at 8 p.m. on our Discord and participate in that. We'll be are doing a live recording of the episode of the podcast with our guests who can attend as many as they can, and we're all going to be sitting there in the lobby. You guys can ask your questions. You guys can hear anecdotes or stories, hear other duelist opinions or takes, and then we can also um, do some of the people's choice questions that people love to listen to so much. So we're going to be doing that next Monday as well. So December 16th, marked on the calendars, as well as all the other stuff is above, guys. Make sure to click the Linktree link down below. Follow all the social sites. Shout outs to Unplugged Gaming for sponsoring the podcast. You can go follow their Discord and join their social sites down there. And then as well as Catching Brad every Saturday night at Twitch at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, guys. With all that being said, we are all out of life points now. Be sure to catch us next time where we'll be doing the live recording for you guys as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see all of you guys. We're going to have some giveaways for you, some OTS packs, a box of product to give away. We're going to have sleeves to give away, merch, all that stuff for you guys. So be sure to join us and have a lot of fun with that. All right. With that being said, I am Player X, and you guys have been listening to the Semi Limited Podcast. Thank you so very much, and peace.